Hello learners, welcome back to the Learner's Deck. Today we are going to understand a beautiful patriotic poem, Bharat Our Land, written by the great Indian poet Subramania Bharati. In this poem, the poet proudly describes the greatness of our country India, its natural beauty, spiritual wisdom, culture and ancient heritage. Let us understand the poem stanza by stanza and line by line. First, the poet says, "The mighty Himawant is ours. There's no equal anywhere on earth." The word Himawant refers to the Himalayan mountains. They are the highest and one of the most majestic mountain ranges in the world. The poet proudly says that these mighty mountains belong to India, and there is no other mountain range in the world that can equal their greatness. Here, the poet expresses pride in India's natural beauty and grandeur. Next, the poet says, "The generous Ganga is ours. Which other river can match her grace?" Here, the poet talks about the holy river Ganga. He calls it generous because it gives water, supports agriculture, and nourishes millions of people. The poet asks a rhetorical question. Which other river in the world can match the beauty and grace of the Ganga? Here, the poet expresses admiration for India's life-giving rivers. Then the poet says, "The sacred Upanishads are ours. What scriptures else to name with them?" The Upanishads are ancient Indian philosophical texts that contain deep spiritual wisdom about life, truth, and the universe. The poet proudly says that these sacred scriptures belong to India, and very few other scriptures can be compared with them. Here, the poet expresses pride in India's spiritual wisdom and philosophical heritage. Next he says, "This sunny golden land is ours. She's peerless, let's praise her." India is described as a sunny golden land, meaning a beautiful and prosperous country. The word peerless means having no equal. The poet invites everyone to praise and celebrate this wonderful land. Here, the poet expresses deep patriotism and admiration for India. Now let us move to the second stanza. "Gallant warriors have lived here. Many a sage has sanctified this land." In these lines, the poet reminds us that India has been the birthplace of many brave warriors who fought courageously. At the same time, this land has also been home to many sages and saints whose wisdom and spiritual practices made the land sacred and holy. Here, the poet expresses pride in India's brave warriors and its rich spiritual traditions. Next, the poet says, "The divinest music has been heard here, and here all auspicious things are found." The poet says that India has a rich tradition of divine music and arts that touch the soul. He also believes that this land is blessed because everything good, sacred and fortunate flourishes here. Here, the poet expresses admiration for India's rich cultural heritage and describes India as a land of blessings. Now let us look at the final stanza. Here, Brahma knowledge has taken root. Brahma knowledge refers to deep spiritual knowledge about the universe. The poet says that such profound philosophical ideas developed and flourished in India. Here, the poet expresses India's greatness as the birthplace of spiritual philosophy. Next line, "And Buddha preached his Dhamma here." This refers to Gautama Buddha, who spread his teachings of peace, compassion and non-violence in India. The word Dhamma means the teachings of Buddha. Here, the poet expresses India's role in spreading peace and enlightenment to the world. Then the poet says, "Of hoary antiquity is Bharat." The phrase hoary antiquity means extremely ancient history. The poet proudly states that India is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. Here, the poet expresses India's ancient heritage and historical greatness. Finally, the poet concludes again, "She's peerless, let's praise her." Once again, he reminds us that India has no equal and deserves our admiration and respect. Here, he expresses his deep love and pride for his motherland. So overall, this poem is a tribute to India. The poet celebrates India's natural beauty, spiritual wisdom, cultural richness, and ancient history, and proudly declares that India is a land that has no equal. I hope this explanation helped you understand the poem clearly. Before we conclude the lesson, let us quickly look at some of the important literary devices used in this poem. First, allusion. Allusion means an indirect reference to a famous person, place or text from history, religion or culture. Example in the poem, the references to the Himalayas, the Ganga, the Upanishads and Buddha. Second, rhetorical question. A rhetorical question is a question asked not to get an answer but to create emphasis or make the reader think. Example in the poem, which other river can match her grace? Third, personification. Personification is a literary device in which non-living things or abstract ideas are given human qualities. Example in the poem, India is referred to as she in the line, "She's peerless, let's praise her." Fourth, repetition. Repetition means repeating words or phrases to emphasize an idea. Example in the poem, the line "She's peerless, let's praise her" is repeated to highlight the poet's pride in India. Fifth, hyperbole. Hyperbole means deliberate exaggeration used for emphasis. Example in the poem, there's no equal anywhere on earth. Before we end today's lesson, if you have any doubts about the poem or any of the literary devices we discussed, feel free to write them in the comment section. I'll be happy to read your questions and help you understand them better. And if this explanation helped you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Learner's Deck for more simple English lessons. Thank you for watching and see you in the next class.